classic TV fans, Rick 9G here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about Batman, the 1960s television show. I want to let you know that I am trying to reach the goal of 150,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it. That way we can reach our goal and get to it so quickly. Today we're going to be talking about a really interesting aspect of Batman. Now, there are a lot of cool scenes, a lot of interesting ones with the Batmobile, Batman, Robin in full costume, the villains. I mean, it's a bright thing. They essentially brought the comic books to life. Everything is vibrant and a little cheesy on purpose. I mean, that was part of the charm of the show, as well as other shows like Gilligan's Island, Stooges, all cheesy stuff, but all just great comedy, great fun, and great entertainment. Now, I've noticed one of the scenes that you probably have seen in many of the episodes, which has to do with Boy Wonder and Batman getting into the Batmobile and driving to Gotham City headquarters. That's where Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara are. And they drive with the Batmobile coming at full speed, and they arrive right at the police station. They park right outside. You see that Robin gets out pretty quickly, and then Batman comes out. Robin waits for him, and then they swing around, going up the steps as quickly as they can, almost running up the steps, and then going into the building. But then I thought to myself, I feel like I've seen this before. And yeah, you've seen this in probably this episode, which is the pilot of Batman with the Riddler. It's not the only one though, because let's look at other episodes to see if this is similar or not. Well, check out this episode with Mr. Freeze's first appearance, played by George Sanders. Kind of similar thing. The dynamic duo is called in on the Batmobile. They pull up to Gotham Police headquarters, and a similar thing happens. Look, exactly the same. We see Batman coming out. We see Robin coming out. They head up the stairs in the same fashion. There's even the same people in the background. Again, I didn't just replay something from the pilot episode. I'm replaying it specifically from the Mr. Freeze episode. Now check this episode with False Face. We have the dynamic duo making their way in the Batmobile toward Gotham City Police headquarters. Now check this out. Again, let's look at what is happening. We see the Batmobile pulling up. Robin gets out first, turns around and waits for Batman. As Batman makes his way up, Robin soon follows and they run up the steps. It's the same thing again. Or let's look at this episode with Julie Newmar as the Catwoman as the Batmobile speeds down. Check out a couple things that I will mention, not really looking at Batman. The woman in red and white right behind the police car making their way toward the Batmobile. On the left, also the woman in orange and the woman in white. They're seen in every single scene that I've shown you so far. Now, I have a lot more of these scenes. In fact, I can show you pretty much every single episode of Batman and show you this entrance. And the reason why it wasn't used a lot in season 3 was because of that, because it was used over and over and over again. In fact, they only filmed this once. They filmed it only for the pilot of Batman, and then later they reused it. Notice things like the smoke on the left-hand side. Notice the same people in the scene. Again, a lot of kids watch this, and a lot of kids wouldn't have noticed these details. I want to know how many of you actually noticed this. It's the same scene used over and over. Now, I know some of you may ask, well, what's the point of this? Okay, Rick, no big deal. It's the same scene. Well, it is a big deal because a lot of people don't notice that it's the same scene reused. It was used. Why? Well, it was a way to save money. They filmed 20 seconds or so of footage and you reuse it in every episode. That's going to save you a lot of money in getting a camera crew out there, getting the actors to do this several times until you get it just right. If it's done just right already, why not just do that 20 or 30 times and use it over again? It saves time, saves money, it saves resources, and etc. So this is what Hollywood does. They use clever editing to make it look like it is a different scene or it's shot from a different angle. But no, with all the writing that is used, saying it's Mr. Freeze or Catwoman, you just think it's a different scene. But no, it's the same thing filmed over again. Let me know if you ever noticed this, and if you want me to keep dissecting Batman and these other TV shows. We do deep dive commentary into all these classic TV shows and movies where we can just sit back, relax, and find out some really interesting behind the scenes information. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for the support, and most importantly, be hopeful. Thank you so much to my supporters on Patreon, especially my Diamond tier patrons. New patron Gerard D, David D, Citizen Kane 359, Greg S, Kevin K, Ricky, Sally, and Vito L. Make sure to check the links in the description to see how you could be on this list as well.